All right, if you looked at any of the pages, you may have noticed on the history page that it looks like there's something missing at the very bottom. You notice that it finishes with those who died defending the Alamo, and then it's blank. Okay, so we're actually going to put in a list of names of those who died defending the Alamo. So I'm going to, first off, I'm going to hit return so that it shows up at a row underneath us. And then I'm going to look at our folders real quick. Notice that in the source folder, we have two things here that aren't images. One of them says defenders.csv. This CSV stands for comma separated value, and you can create them using Excel or any other spreadsheet program. And the other is this, MX blah blah blah. This is an extension that we can use to format the table that gets input from this list. If I open this list, it's going to open in a program called Numbers here on our Macs, and you'll see that we have a list of, hold on, oh, it doesn't tell us how many, a list of many names, and we don't want to have to type those in again, right? So we're going to import them. Okay. Now, before we import them, I actually want to install this extension. So I'm going to come up here to Commands, and I'm going to choose Manage Extensions. And you're going to get a pop-up. It may take a minute because it actually opens a little program, the Extension Manager. And you can see where Dreamweaver is selected. And we're going to choose Install. Once we click on that, it's going to allow us to navigate to our Alamo folder, to the source folder, and find that extension. When I hit select, it's going to ask about a disclaimer. Click accept, and then it's installed. If for some reason you get a pop-up asking you for a username and password, call me over and I'll put mine in. I don't think it's going to ask you, but just in case. Then I can quit the extension manager, and if I go to Commands, now it should be in here. I don't see it, so I'm going to save history, and I'm going to quit Dreamweaver, and then I'm going to open it up again because it should be there. Okay, one more time, open Dreamweaver. Commands. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. We'll see what happens here. All right, so I've got my history page back open. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Remember, I hit enter or return after those who died defending the Alamo. Here I'm going to insert table objects, import tabular data. It's going to allow me to browse into my source folder for defenders.csv. It asks what the delimiter is, and it noticed that it was a comma, so it actually put it there. Notice that you have other options there for other types of files, but ours is most definitely a comma. Then it starts asking about the table width, and we have options as far as do we want it to fit to the data, or do we want to set it to a certain percent? And we are going to actually choose set the width, and we're going to set it to 95%. We are going to put in a cell padding of 5 pixels, cell spacing of 1, border of 0, And then our top row is going to have a bold format to it. Now when we click OK, notice that we now have a table with this long list of names. It's pretty awesome how we have that in there. Okay, now we can see that the table is selected right here. And this is where, I'm going to go ahead and hit save real quick. That's where, though, we want to go in and we want to format this table. So if I come in here, I guess it's because I didn't have a table selected. Under Commands, notice down here we have a couple of options. First, let's say I want to sort the table. Right now it looks like it's sorted by last name, by column 1. Well, maybe I want to sort it by state, the birthplace first, then by their last name. Okay? And if I click OK, notice now the first two that pop up have a blank birthplace because they don't know where it came from. Then we have a person named John with no known last name and obviously no known birthplace. Okay, and here we go and you have all of the birthplaces listed in alphabetical order and then their last name. Now we have the table selected still, and I'm going to go back to that Commands menu and notice that we also have here alternate table rows. What that's going to allow, this is Dreamweaver 4. Let's try that one more time. Okay, well, I'm going to hit save. Okay, so the laptop I'm working on doesn't want to cooperate and allow me to do the alternate row shading. However, I believe that it does work on your computers at school. So I'm going to type what you're supposed to have here so that you can change it. And what we have to do is, of course, you are going to select Alt Rows, rows, basic, gray, formatting. And let me zoom in, make that bigger for you. There we go. And so we're going to change the value for the first row, the color value, to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ds followed by a 0. The second row is going to be 5 E's followed by a 0. And what that's going to do is it's going to alternate two slightly different shades of gray, but it's going to allow the table to be easier to read. When you're done with that, click OK. Okay, save your formatting and then, or sorry, save history page, and then of course you want to preview it in the browser. And here is where my table begins. And notice that the font changed. I'll explain that in a minute. And hopefully yours is working. Okay. Now, the font change. Whenever you use a cascading style sheet, and I'm going to open up the template again to look at this. The tags that you apply it to are very specific. So once we put in that table, all of that text in that table no longer has the P stuff applied to it. So the easiest thing for us to do would be to duplicate that, and that would be for table, and I would just click OK. And now notice now that there's table. And just to make sure, I could put in TD, TR, and TH, and it's going to apply that to all of them. I'm going to hit update. I have to, again, I've got to make sure that I save the style sheet as well. There we go. Now, if I go back to my history page, which is right here, and scroll down, now my table, the text in it, looks exactly the same as the rest. Now what happens though if I want my text here to be just a little bit smaller? In my template, I can come here and look, font size is 14. Let's go ahead and make that 12. Whoops, I'm having trouble typing. And I can make my line height smaller and make it 15. And again, I need to do a save all. So I save my cascading style sheet. Here's my history page, which I can refresh. And when I scroll down to the table, it's a little bit smaller. Okay, and that actually looks better. So I'm going to keep it just like that.